everyone, it's Asia Marquet here, Lemon Creation. Today I have for you two abstract watercolor pages, so you can see them right now. And I've been using a lot of texture, or rather experimenting with texture for those two projects today. And firstly, I'm gonna prepare my setup. I will be using today two watercolor papers. They are slightly textured, not that much, and they are roughly, each one is half A5 size. I am placing them on my support and adhering them with the washi tape, and I will be experimenting with texture in just a second. I was really excited about this video because if you know me, you know I love experimenting and I'm always eager to learn. So I found this class on Craftsy, who, by the way, is the sponsor of today's video. And this class is called Simple and Stunning Watercolor Techniques. This is the class by Mary Murphy. It lasts over 2 hours, but she also have a shorter video about creating textural watercolors, which I also watched. And she has other videos with watercolors. So as you can see here, she is showing a few different techniques. Some of them I knew, some of them I didn't, or I never actually feel comfortable enough to try them. And so this class, as all the others, is divided into chapters, so you don't get lost. It's quite easy to follow, and I really find it very interesting, and there is a lot of knowledge in it. And I am already getting ready to follow another of Mary's classes. All of these classes are, of course, available on Craftsy, which is a huge online resource of different type of classes, perfect for crafters and people who like to learn new skills. As you can see, the classes are divided into sections, and some of the classes covers photography, knitting, sewing, drawing, watercolors, mixed media, plenty of classes about cooking, which interests me also. And of course, right now it's a Christmas period, so you'll find also a lot of articles and classes for handmade crafts for Christmas. What's important to me is also the fact that their interface is very user-friendly, very easy to use. And you can, of course, make your research based on the topic which interests you, or even based on the teacher you would like to follow. With Craftsy membership, you can also get access to their live streaming tutorials. And during those tutorials, you can ask your questions in the real time and get an answer from the teacher who is teaching particular class. And just before Christmas, I have a surprise for you. So if you scan the QR code visible right now on the screen, or use the link in the description underneath this video, you can get the first full year of Craftsy Premium membership for only $1.49. And this offer is valid for new members only. And before coming back to my project, once again, thank you very much Craftsy for sponsoring this video. For this project, I will be using Paul Rubens watercolors and Fumui brushes, different type of brushes. The flat one right now I'm using, it's just to add a little bit of water. So I decided to do two different abstract paintings, just because sometimes I am not happy with my abstract paintings, so I prefer to just have a second one. And since I'm gonna be experimenting with the different textures, which some of them I've never actually used before, I was thinking that it's better and just safer, simply safer, to have two pieces of papers to work on. So in this video, I'm gonna be concentrating on creating texture. Some of the ideas I got from Mary Murphy from the class. Some of them I already used in my previous videos, and I'm gonna be experimenting a tiny bit also. So after adding the first layer of paint, I waited maybe not even 1 minute, and then I just put the piece of tissue paper or a tissue over the painting. In some places the tissue absorbed the paint, make it more delicate. In others the paint was already dry, so it didn't change anything. But look at that, guys, there is already texture, and the paint looks almost like a granulating one. I really love the effect I already got just with a piece of normal tissue, and it really looks, the color looks granulated, even though it's not. And so after everything is dry, it dried very quickly, I'm adding a little bit of, or rather a second layer of color. I am twisting my brush as much as I can because I am still very like working with the brain. I cannot let go. So my movements are usually the same. My abstracts are kind of looking the same almost. So I'm trying to let go because I'm overthinking. And so for the first of these techniques, I am using, well, second actually, if you count the tissue. I used a piece of cling film from the kitchen and place it on the still wet paint. The paint cannot be very, very wet. And for the second part, I use a grain of salt. And I'm gonna let it air dry and we'll see what is it gonna give me. So I put a box of my paints on top of the cling film because like that it actually, the effect is more visible because of the pressure of something which is heavy. And on the other side, I am removing the salt. So those two techniques were also used by Mary Murphy, but I knew about them already and I actually used them in some of my previous videos. The next technique though, I heard about it, I saw it, and I actually never thought is interesting enough for me to try, but I was proved wrong. After watching the class on Craftsy, I realized that there is something I actually have to try. So I have a piece of sponge. I think there is nothing much easier and giving you such a nice effect. It's like completely random blobs of paint and it looks so nice. The texture is so nice. It's like nothing I've seen before or I made before. It kind of looks like clouds almost. Next technique is nothing new and I actually use it use it a few days ago. It's just stamping with round objects or rather round cups. Even with the glue, and as you can see my glue is black underneath because I was doing some mark making with black ink a few days ago. So this is something I actually really like to do. And this page may not look like much right now and you may think that the yellow does not work very well, but yeah, that was also my thought, but it kind of grew on me at the end. So I'm just doing mark making with household objects. Well, it's actually, those are actually craft objects, but still, you know, something I have on my desk. So this is also very nice technique and very easy, and like that you don't overthink too much. The more you put, actually, the merrier, I think. As you can see, I am adding a little bit of water inside the bubbles, making the watercolor react with the water. So I get the bubbles which are kind of filled up with the watercolor. And right now, this technique, I was always very reluctant to try it, and I don't think I ever tried it. Just using the brush and just going over some kind of like packaging thing I have at home. I don't even know. I think it's a kind of like a builder's tape or drywall tape, the European version of it at least. And I actually like it, but I thought always that this is something to be used with sprays or inks only, never with watercolor and brush. And again, I was proved wrong today because if you don't mind, if you make an abstract, which I do, and if you don't mind that there is gonna be a paint leaking in some places underneath these tapes or however they are called, these drywall tapes, that is a really nice thing to actually use for your abstracts. So as you can see, I am adding a little bits and pieces of different sizes of the drywall tape. And of course, my all-time favorite technique, stamping with any type of paints, in this case watercolors. And as you can see, I also, just after stamping, I dab the excess of the water with the tissue. Like that, the print is much nicer. There is a lot of projects, abstract paintings, which I'm doing mostly with the brushes, but during making of this video, I realized that actually if I work more with texture and different items or different tools, I am more inclined to not to think that much, and I actually come up with the abstract I really like at the end. So I decided to add as many techniques as I could possibly add until you know, my eyes will say stop, it's enough. The painting is finished. And in this case, I am adding a little bit of paint with a brayer. Super nice technique also. You have no control over brayer, which is super good for my brain, which can switch on, off for a moment. And it gives a really nice texture to the page. Once again, a little bit of stamping. This time I'm using my stamp, and it's more sturdy, and also the design is bigger, so the result is more visible as opposed to the script stamp I used earlier. On top of that, I'm using a black, ivory black color, which of course is gonna give me a little bit of contrast, because I was thinking that once again I need more contrast, especially on this page which has the purple accents. So I'm sure you all know the credit card technique, but what I've seen in Mary's video is that she had a credit card which was kind of which had very uneven edges. So what I did here is I took one of my cards and I cut it, but very unevenly. So like that, I can use it, I can dip it in the paint, and I can use it on the paper by kind of like smudging it, I think. And the fact that it has uneven edges, which I made on purpose, it means that I won't get the whole, you know, line on the size of the card. But I will just get some lines like here and there. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you, but this is also a really nice technique I did not know about. And such a small thing, you know, small tiny detail, and it can change a lot. And I'm pretty sure that with acrylic paints it's gonna be even more visible. So just try that, guys. There is also another technique you can do, a very similar one, and for that you just need this type of brush. So it's like a, I have no idea how this brush is called. I should know that. I have to check that. But it's also one of my favorite brush because it gives these tiny lines, and it looks just perfect. I really love working with this brush. Although the lines are kind of always the same, so I don't use it that often, because otherwise all my paintings, all my abstracts would look the same. But I cherish it. I really like to come back to it now and then. And you know, with the small things like that, I was actually today doing this video and looking at my desk, looking around and thinking, what else can I use? And it's such a fun to be trying new ways to add more interest to your painting. So as you see, the splatter is also a must, because why not? And it adds, once again, because I do it with the black color, it adds a little bit more of contrast to the page and more interest. Now that everything is completely dry, I can remove the masking tape. My pages are warping a little, always. I don't know how some watercolor artists manage to get them all always flat. Even with masking tape, sometimes I have a small warping, but I know later you can rectify it by spraying a little bit of water on the other side of the page, not on the page with the color, but on the back side, and just putting something heavy on it, and like that the paper will come back to its natural form. But the masking tape is helping a lot. I am already very happy with what I have, but I decided to go a little bit further and use some China ink. Once again, a little bit for the contrast. And look at that, it's actually changing quite a lot when I am adding the black accents. The page is more vibrant to me. So this is just a matter of placing few kind of a wobbly lines, bits and pieces here and there. This is also very hard for me because I overthink too much, but at the end I am happy I actually did it. I think at this point there is no more to add. The project is finished, just last tiny lines. And that's it from me, guys, in this video. As always, thank you so very much for being so supportive, for watching. If you like what I do, please do subscribe. That means a lot for me. And I always am so very happy to read your comments. I'm a little late lately with comments, but I will catch up. I promise you that. And as always, I'm sending you big hugs, wishing you all the very best. Beautiful sunshine, beautiful day. And I hope I'm gonna see you soon in my next video. Bye bye.